Hi folks, it's the 14th of November today and this is a completely unplanned tour of our main veggie beds, our main growing area. I've actually just been up here doing some other work and I've been completely blown away by how much beautiful lush growth is still happening up here. So I just wanted to grab the camera and hopefully show you guys what we're seeing here too. So come and have a look. So first of all, this is the area where we literally just a couple of days ago harvested our sweet potatoes, and you'll be able to see that on our next sweet potato video as well. But what has blown us away up here is the beautiful lushness of all of our Yacon plants. And as you can see, we've got amazing flowers on the Yacon, and that's something we've not actually even had before on this white variety of Yacon. But the foliage has normally all died back by this time and is all normally burnt by the frost and just looking like brown sticks and, you know, all ready for harvest. But this is just so amazing and beautiful. So yeah, that's the first thing that we're just completely blown away by. And the other thing is these liquorice trees. Dan spotted them the other day and he said, like, this is the greenest and the most growth that they've had in a long time, and you can see they've actually done a recent growth spurt as well with all that lovely lush greenery there. So come on up this way and we'll see what's happening up here. So lots going on up here, and actually throughout the summer this area was probably less productive for us because we weren't able to water a lot of the beds all the time. We usually operate like that, we just leave it to nature. When it rains, that's when things get watered. We only normally water when we first transplant young seedlings. So yeah, with the drought we had this year, this area wasn't as productive. But since the rain has come and we've still kind of kept planting, it has literally sprung into life. So come on over this way and I'll show you around. I'll show you where I've just been working first of all. So this area does need some attention here. This is our strawberry beds. We need to get in and get some of that sheep sorrel out. And then what I need to do is put some empty some bags of wood chips just down on top of the strawberries, and that will basically give them a really good mulch and a feed. It will mulch out any old weak plants, and then the new young plants will just grow up through it. We've got leeks that are sat in the ground. Now these leeks aren't as big as they normally are, and again they've been completely engulfed in sheep sorrel and a little bit of neglect, not getting it all out this year, but so much going on, it's sometimes difficult to keep up. But yeah, they're still looking really happy, not really any rust showing on them. So hopefully with this lovely warm weather we've got, they will actually still continue to fatten up. So come up here and I will show you what I was just seeing. So I was actually just up here mowing our piles for the compost. So what we do when we've got chunkier green waste, we kind of just dump it all in a row here, as you can see along the path, and then eventually I run the mower through it, chomp a lot of it up a lot smaller, and then put it onto the compost pile. But yeah, I was just up here mowing and the light was just catching everything as I looked down here, and it is just absolutely beautiful. We've got this sea of Mashua growing all over the fence down here that you can see the little orange flowers on, and that's just started flowering. Mashua is an amazing plant. We use it here largely as a ground cover. You can also eat the leaves. These beautiful leaves are very much like nasturtium leaves, slightly different taste, so you can use those in salad. They start from early spring, and as you can see, they've had another fresh growth now, so loads of greenery from them. But they also produce a creamy coloured tuber. Now, out of all the tubers we grow here, it probably is my least favourite one, but they are an amazing survival food, as we call them. And because we use it as ground cover, largely we only harvest what we need as we want them, and the rest of it stays in the ground. But we've always got so much there as a backup should it ever be needed. But here we've got the elephant garlic, which is just popping its head up through the fresh wood chips that we've put down to give it a mulch and a feed. We find the garlic really loves the wood chips. But this has been in the ground for literally just a month. So this growth has happened a lot quicker than it normally does. Normally they're not sprouting this quickly, but it's just been so warm. And I have mentioned this in other videos as well, but here, all of these carrots and beetroots, I'd literally given up on. We sowed them in the summer, it was just too hot, not enough moisture for them, didn't think anything was even going to germinate. They came on late and I almost pulled it all out because I wanted the bed back for other stuff. But look at the growth. Like, we have got a really good supply of carrots going on here now, and I think some of them will be smaller, but look at that, beautiful, beautiful carrots. Just a whole sea of them here. It's completely blown me away, and the lushness of everything is just, honestly, I just can't even get my head around it right now. We've got these ginormous beetroots that really actually need harvesting, but they will sit happily in the ground for quite a long time. We've got parsley in this bed as well, and then the way we grow here as well, we try and keep everything as diverse as possible. So there's just other things like there's the odd Yacon plant dotted in here. Now that one's been sort of smothered out, I think, by the Mashua and just other stuff that was going on, so it's not a strong plant, but we'll just leave it there and it will just do its thing, and it all adds to the diversity up here. But come on down here and we'll take a closer look at the Mashua down here. So these beam frames we put in last year, and it was with this plan of doing a massive amount of beans for drying this year. Now that again didn't quite go to plan with the drought. The beans just didn't grow throughout the summer, but they have actually cropped really, really late, and we have done a big harvest of beans from here. Now the pods are still largely green. You can actually see a few here that I've missed. These are Greek gigantes. So the pods are largely green, but you can see that the beans inside have formed up really well and are mature. So we've actually taken all the green beans inside and are drying them out in a really warm spot. So we have actually possibly still got a really good harvest of beans coming. But look, here we've got all of the ochre. So I transplanted ochre into this bed last year, and it was only just really small pieces. And the ochre has just taken off in the last few weeks. Again, because we'd grown a lot of variation of other stuff. There was broad beans in the middle here. The ochre, I didn't think were getting enough light and space. So again, didn't really have great expectations from those. But the plants are just looking amazing now. And yeah, come and take a closer look at the Mashua. I mean, this stuff is just mental. It's beautiful. Like I say, you can eat the greens, you can eat the tubers. The flowers are just divine to look at this time of year. And what's more, we do have a bit of bindweed in this area, and it is completely smothering out the bindweed which would otherwise take over. So it's just doing an amazing job. Yeah, we've got lots of crazy mushrooms coming up in the wood chip as well. Something we've got to learn more about. We do not know really anything at all about mushrooms yet, but we have got plenty of time to learn still. So yeah, you can see here this bed we had just lined with Yacon along the edge here to kind of try and create a barrier for the strawberries coming in. And again, these plants stayed really small this year. They were only small pieces of rhizome that we transplanted last year, but they stayed really, really small quite late into the season. But now they've just had this massive growth spurt and are looking amazing. So we just take a look at a few things going on over here. We've got beetroots that have been sat in the ground from a sowing on the 9th of April. And these beetroots, there's two varieties in here. There's a golden beetroot and then there's a stripy beetroot, which I love because it just looks so awesome when you cut into it. And yeah, they're still really good. You pull them out, they've not gone woody yet. The parsnips, I kind of oversowed parsnips this year because we had a crop failure on them last year and I was determined not to not have parsnips this year. And they're not looking their best now actually. They were ready to harvest really a couple of months ago, but we weren't ready for parsnips yet, and we're still not, because parsnips taste better when they've actually had a bit of a frost on them. But we normally leave them in the ground and just harvest as we need throughout the winter, so they will be okay, but they just might not look their best, and they might not look quite the same condition you would be used to buying them in the supermarket, but they still taste great, so that's awesome. In here we have got turnips, and there's two different types of turnips in here. There is a red Milan turnip, and that is actually fast becoming my favourite type. And then this, I'll just get you in there so you can see. Wow, there's a massive one there. And then this front row is snowball, and I find, yeah, the snowball doesn't grow quite as well for us. And these were sown, let's just see if I can see the date on here. Oh no, I can't pick the date out on there. I'll have to look the date up and maybe pop it on screen if I can't see it on this label here. 13th of August we sowed these, and I did 2 lots of turnips. I did 1 lot direct sowing here and then some more down the other end which were transplants as well, but they've all grown really well. We've also got kohlrabi in here, and they were forming up really quickly, but some of the heads did actually split, like this one here. When I think it's to do with all the rain, when we had some of the really heavy downpours that we've been experiencing throughout October and the beginning of this month. Some of those did split, but yeah, it's still growing really happily. Nasturtiums going mental. We've got self-seeded mustard greens here. We've got mustard greens just behind Dan there, mixed in with coriander, and they've got a little bit of slug damage on them at the moment. I need to get in and pluck off some of the bigger leaves, but just beautiful, added to salads or to stir fries. And yeah, just everything is just so lush and green. It's just crazy, especially after the summer droughts when everything just looked so bleak and dry. Self-seeded lamb's lettuce comes up in this bed. It's not as thick as it normally is this year. It comes up in both of these beds, and I just kind of usually mow it off the path in between. But yeah, I would like a little bit more of that. It normally comes up here, and this is a bed I do actually need to clear out now. It's got rocket, which has got a little bit old, and some beetroots, which they grew a bit too slow, so those ones may be woody. So yeah, I need to clear this bed, and hopefully, yeah, you can see the lamb's lettuce down here. Hopefully that will come through a little bit more. We've got some self-seeded leeks popping up in this bed, self-seeded parsley, and then we come into more turnips. Wow, I haven't actually checked this bed for a while, so this was the slightly later transplants, and this end of the bed doesn't get quite as much sun, but they are all forming up there, mixed in with a variety of self-seeded herbs, more parsley. We've got coriander there that's self-seeded because I had coriander and salads in this bed from the spring. But yeah, we'll just weed out what we don't need, and we kind of leave as much as we can just to do its own thing when where we can, because it just, yeah, brings greater diversity and more variety. And if you lose a crop somewhere else, if you've let things self-sow, then they just are happily there for you when you need them. But yeah, some salads. This bed does need clearing out here, but we've got some beautiful chervil down here, which I think that was self-seeded actually as well from the summer salads that I had in this bed. But basically everything here is just growing so strongly still. Can't believe the lush green growth, and I just wanted to share it with you because I was up here working. It absolutely took my breath away. So I hope you enjoy having this look around our beds. Let us know in the comments below if you did enjoy seeing what growth is happening for us right now. We love hearing from you guys. We hope that you are having great success growing as well, and we hope that you're inspired to grow more food for yourself, because it is one of the most empowering and rewarding things you can do for yourself. Thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and we'll catch you here again soon. Peace and plants.
So on the topic of everything looking so lush and evergreen, I couldn't help but interrupt the flow and have a bit of a mention of the glorious Cannas. Again, I just love a taste of the tropics and things looking lush and beautiful, that exotic foliage, and these are still looking great. This is Canna, Wyoming, and this is a great one I grow because it has nice big tubers which can be used actually as a survival food. You can use the inner stems of these like heart of palm in here, and also this variety I find has very thick leaves, so these are really good as using as a disposable plate in the summertime, or even this year, even in the winter time, because they're still going. Got different varieties along here I've been trialing over the years. Some have got finer leaves, not quite so thick, so you know, it's all an experiment. Some are bigger, some are smaller, but this one now is my absolute favourite Canna. It's not the tallest, but it's called Canna et Jaime, and it's got the most beautiful pink flowers, so unlike all the other Cannas. And I'm so happy. This is its second year. I bought a very small little rhizome piece for this, and it's coming on beautiful, lovely, quite thick leaves as well. And in here we've even had dahlias still going, and brugmantii down here, and the bananas as well are still looking great. Beautiful, beautiful foliage, and these would in a frost-free environment remain evergreen, so we'll see how long they go. It's all very exciting.